Hey everyone, welcome to Trail Sage, and this week we're talking about the Ergon GD1 Evo Factory grips. Now, I purchased these grips a few months ago after my second wrist injury because I needed something with a little bit more vibration dampening, but what I found was a whole lot more. Being that grips are one of only 3 contact points on the bike, I take them pretty seriously. And like many of you, I had a strong preference, and if I'm being honest, if it weren't for this injury, I probably would have never considered these. But man, am I glad that I did. These Ergon grips are quickly becoming one of my favorites. But before I get into my likes, here are the specs. The Ergon GD1 Evo Factory grips are designed as a single lock-on and measure 140 millimeters in overall length, with 124 millimeters of usable rubber. A taper design was used to provide dampening and control and measures 28 millimeters at the front and 30 millimeters at the end. There's also an inner flange to keep your hands from slipping inward. At 106 grams for both grips, they're just about average for weight, and the grips come in 3 colors and 2 sizes, regular and slim. What I ended up purchasing was the stealth version in the regular or standard size. It's also important to note that these grips come in 2 different variations, factory and non-factory. The factory version is made with a translucent rubber, and it's also very soft and tacky, which just so happens to be one of the things that I love. So let's go ahead and jump into my likes. I had been using these ODI Ruffians for years, and I quickly realized that I needed something with a little bit more dampening, especially for my hardtail. Now, these GD1s have been great at reducing the chatter and vibration, while still giving me the control and feel I was looking for. The ribbing is not uniform like many other grips on the market, but instead, the pattern changes to accommodate different parts of your hand. This leads to more control and an increase in comfort. The taper design is barely noticeable in my hand, but what is noticeable is a decrease in fatigue after a rough downhill or even on my longer rides. One of the biggest concerns I had was this single lock-on slipping around or moving on me, but this really hasn't been an issue at all. In fact, having one less clamp at the end meant I could now use the entire grip, which increased my stability. And while we're talking about lock-ons, can we give some major props to Ergon, who cleverly etched these tiny notches on the lock-on ring, so now you can align these grips perfectly with each other. Absolutely genius. So are there any downsides? Unfortunately, I did find 2, and one of the biggest ones happens to be durability. I've only been using these grips for about 3 months, and as you can see, the rubber ribs seem to be wearing a little bit quicker than I would have liked. But that's the trade-off you get when you choose a softer compound. If you want something that's going to last a little bit longer, then I would suggest getting the non-factory version. The other downside is going to be more of a preference thing, but if you're used to a more traditional style grip and getting tons of feedback coming back through, then these GD1s are probably not going to be a good option for you. But other than that, those are the only 2 downsides that I could find. So in conclusion, as someone who's tried countless numbers of grips, from cushy ESIs to the slim Ruffians, I think these GD1s are the best of both worlds. They give you plenty of comfort without sacrificing any control. Whether it's been slow speed rock tech where precision is required, or fast gnarly downhills, these grips have been reliable and predictable. I haven't experienced any discomfort or fatigue in my longer rides either, and they've worked great in all kinds of weather conditions and temperatures. Regarding price, at $39, they're a little bit on the high side, but I have to be honest, I think they're worth every penny. There's a ton of technology and thought behind these grips, and it shows. Well, that does it for my review of the Ergon GD1 Evo Factory grips. I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions or feedback, leave them in the comments below. And if you liked the video, let me know, and if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.